not just our NCS board, but our community and our students, right? It really means a lot to have families together in a setting like this, not just at a game, but when we're elevating it to the next level, as we have the privilege to be here today. So I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time out and coming out and joining us tonight. So thank you again. We're going to start with cross country. So if you're the cross country, get your phones ready. And I'll have the coach come in now.
Okay.
I feel like the night should. Yeah.
Oh, excited.
Guys, come on.
It'll be just a second.
Okay. This will let me know when I can. Okay. All right. Welcome to the Natomas Charter School Board of Directors meeting for November 13th. I will call us to order at 5:32. Okay. Roll call. Doug Gaffney.
Here.
Nita Kushal.
Nita will not be joining us.
Sean King.
Here.
Gina Lee.
Here.
Dr. Maharalo. Here. Preeti.
Preeti will be joining us. She's just running a bit late.
Okay. Jennifer Morgan. I'm here. Mallory.
Mallory will also be joining us. She's running late.
Okay. Students coming after?
After closed session, yes.
Okay. All right. Next on the agenda, recognitions and celebrations. Okay, now
I do the official part first.
All right, you want to call from the podium? Okay.
So I'm Coach Jake Baumgartner, and I'm here to present the certificates to our boys cross country team for this year's championship. First, I would like to call up Mason Bernal.
Congratulations, Mason. Congratulations. Come here.
Oh, okay.
That works. All right. All right, thank you. Good job.
Next, I would like to call up Ryan Fields.
Oh, wait. Oh, they're there.
Got it. Okay.
All right, good job. All right, you can head back out there and then we'll do a
They're
team
gonna wait
picture.
because we're gonna do a group photo.
Oh, you want them wait here? Sorry, okay. Ignore me. Zeba's in charge.
Next up is Isaiah Goodenes. Next up is Gino Hinios.
Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations. Go. Get your picture, Gino.
No.
No, wait.
Where?
Good job.
Next up is Julian Hurtado. Congratulations, Julian. Get your picture right there.
Over there, okay.
Next up is Andreas Lutig.
Yeah, go on. All right.
And next up is Santiago Martinez.
Congratulations.
And Hasib Omari.
Congratulations. Get your picture.
And then Anthony Tony Padilla. Next up is Julian Parker Torres.
Oh my God, okay.
Sorry. Got it.
And Akil Rajavarapu. And then Mahir Ritalal. And Jacob Seal Ramirez. And Elijah Simmons.
Congratulations.
Picture. And Golden Tatum. And Nathan Wall.
Awesome job. Thank you.
And Eli Yanez Soler.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
And Tristan Yanez Soler. Next up is Angelo Gross.
Solid look.
Alright. Oh, and we have Krishna Mehta. Picture there.
Oh, right here, right here, right here. Okay, here we go. Perfect.
And I believe that's everyone. I just want to mention Caden Westcott, Kamike Oti, Ishan Brar, and Akil Rajavarapu, who I don't think are able to be here tonight.
All right, round of applause. Over here. Mr. Baumgartner.
So parents, there's gonna be an opportunity for you to do a group photo.
Keep coming, keep coming.
Right after all the way over here.
And apply to, 2 to 3 lines.
All right. We gotta wait to squeeze together a little bit here. All right. Parents, are we looking good? Yeah. All right. Everyone smile in 3, 2, 1. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese.
All right. All right, do we all get up? All right, great job, cross
I'll be at this place next to you. Your backpack? No.
Thank you. We'll do a quick little transition when the cross-country people are leaving. We'll have our next sport coming in just a second. We're checking in Mr. Shane to see which group has as many people here. All right, next up is flag football. Oh, good. Thanks for being here. Coach Williams.
Okay, Mr. Williams is right out front, so I'll get it started, but he'll be part of the picture. So first one up is Carson.
Carson, come on up.
Antonio. That did not happen at football.
Congratulations.
Elijah. Now that did happen at football. For those of you who...
All right, Mr. Shane, hold on, you're going too fast.
Oh, sorry.
Congratulations, congratulations. All right, we'll turn around and take a picture.
There you go.
All right, great
Austin,
job.
come on in, Austin.
Austin. Congratulations. Congratulations. Oh, we get to take Miles. There's your back there. All right, thank-
Gershon.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
I got it.
All right, you got it. Okay, good.
Oh, sorry, I was looking over there. You want to?
I'm gonna be here.
I got it.
Will.
We're good, okay.
Congratulations.
All right, Caleb.
Congratulations, Caitlin.
I know, man, you're good. All right, Coach Williams will finish up, all right?
All right, we like it.
Isaiah.
Don't fight the smile. Don't fight it.
You can smile, come on.
Okay, great. Jermaine. Charlie.
Adonis.
Congratulations. Nice.
Oh, no.
Right here. Yeah.
Javier. Last but not least, Miss.
Congratulations. All right.
And we have a few more here.
Okay.
James, Gregory, Jude, Mahir, Kennedy, QB, Liam, and Jaden.
All right, round of applause for the football team. All right, Mr. Williams, let's put taking a group photo. All right, come on over, guys. You get to be in the group photo. Yeah, no. Surprise! All right, we might have to scoot this way a little bit.
All people in the back.
All right. Big smile. All right, parents, are we looking good? Good? All right. Say on 3, 2, 1, say flag football. Flag football. Say it with excitement.
Paper down.
All right, great job. All right, next up is volleyball. So we want to do a quick transition. Thank you guys all for coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, volleyball. Yes, just be right here. Just be right in here. I'm gonna call your name and then you can take it. You guys can bring it. Yeah, call your name or not?
These are next up the district volleyball champions for middle school age.
Okay, before we start volleyball, I have to say our volleyball team has been, you know, at a very high standard for a very long time, and it just goes to show with our student athletes here, because we had a little turnover with Coach Eigel retiring, that they still carried on the tradition of winning, and I'm really proud of them. Okay, so we'll start with Jenica. Come on down, Jenica. And Coach John is at basketball this very second, so he's coming. Should I go? It's
Yeah.
Oh, should I be over there? Okay.
Make it official.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now I'm in front of pictures.
Are we all good?
All right, Victoria.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Big smile.
Turn the award. There you go.
Oh, there we go. All right.
All right, nice work. Sophia. right, Alyssa.
Congratulations.
She's crying.
Congratulations. Did not skip the picture. Oh, certificate. What do you think? Yeah.
All right, good. All right, Pierce.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Right here. All right, we're good.
All right, thank you.
Kainani.
Congratulations.
Sartaj.
Faith.
Yeah, let me get
There you go. Got it.
All right,
Good.
good job.
Michaela.
Thank you.
All right, good job, Michaela. Carlos. Wow.
All right, thank you.
Narwan. All right, Narwan. Thank you. Shake hands first.
Oh, he was hanging. Congratulations.
Now,
Hey,
take a
hey,
picture.
hey,
Get a picture. No getting out of the picture.
Thank you.
All right. Kia.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Oh, there you go, Kia.
Yep.
Thank you. Maddie.
Right here. Thank you.
All right. Merritt. No cleats in the media center.
We won't say anything.
Thank you. Avneet.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mila.
Good job, Mila.
And last but not least, Lulu.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
All right, I'll give a shout out to RJ, AJ, and Abby. All right, so you guys get in front of
All right.
Guys, get together. Let's go.
Some guys bend down. Get on the floor.
Otherwise, it's gonna be
All right, here we go.
And then Mary, you got it. Yeah, perfect. There we go. Okay.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Champions.
All right, that is our award ceremony. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you all for coming. We do have an exciting board meeting if you want to stay. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Now you know what the gym feels like after he eats like that, right?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Shane.
She does awesome. Thanks, all right. She's awesome. Thank you.
You're busy. You're busy.
After Thanksgiving.
After Thanksgiving.
They're doing sixth grade.
I was training her.
Yeah, we get too early, then they get all crazy, you know?
Have a good night.
All right, thank you, board members, for your time. Appreciate that. Hope to see you in the winter for basketball. Okay? All right, thank you.
Too many. Too many. Reese's a little hot. Too many bodies.
It was a little warm. It'll catch ya. It'll catch ya.
Okay, but. In here, yes, it'll be a nice box in 5 minutes. All right, next up, hearing of the public for items on the closed session agenda.
Nothing received with me.
Okay. At this point, I will adjourn to closed session to consider and/or take action upon any of the following confidential student discipline matter. Administrative representatives, Dr. Joe Wood and Petra Morrison. Case number 202324.01, and Preeti's here.
Oh, like to state for the record, Preeti Merchant has arrived.
She's arrived.
And did you get
Yes.
Mallory as well?
As well.
Mallory's arrived.
She's in the house.
I'm in the house. It's a
She
little
came with
warm
all
in
the
here for her though,
awards.
so. Yeah. Adjust that. Yeah. All right, I will adjourn us to closed session at 5:58. Do we get extra time, Ms. Holmes?
Oh, you good.
Yeah, our goal is to be back around 6:30.
Okay, good.
If the board needs more time.
Okay.
Oh.
You know, it's like, I'm up against. I was like. Oh, and my cushion. I am, and I better not forget to bring it back.
Yeah, the earliest.
I'm gonna sit there.
Thank you, Mallory.
So, food, scheduled some entrance, interviews and stuff. Or she showed you the schedule. It's only like 15 minutes. Yeah. So anyway, we'll just do. Totally.
What's up, everybody?
She has to. Can we make this? Pero no tengo la voz. Yeah, okay. All right, reconvening open session at 7:01 PM. Let's see, executive director evaluation, employment, no action taken. Action regarding student discipline matter, case number 2023-2401. That was supported by unanimous vote by the board. All right, moving on, hearing of the public for items not on the agenda.
We do have one member of the public at this time here, Ms. Keanu Rizzo. Am I saying that correctly?
You said it perfectly. My mom
Awesome.
would be proud.
Ms. Rizzo, just so you know, once you start speaking, I will be setting a timer for 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes to speak. Once the timer goes off, done.
Got it. Thank you so much. Forgive me, I'm used to talking to kids in circle time, an icebreaker. Good evening, esteemed school board, committee, dedicated staff, and valued NCS supporters. My name is Tiani Ridgel. I'm a PFA parent, and I'm also a paralegal and recently a campus monitor here at NCS. I stand before you with a sense of concern and optimism, addressing recent incidents at our school. The BSU committee, in collaboration with AAA, has embraced a nationwide campaign in honor of Ruby Bridges, a symbol of courage and civil rights movement. Tomorrow morning at 7:50, behind Natomas Park Elementary, we invite you to join us for the NCS first annual Ruby Bridges Walk, a moment of unity and allyship. In addition, allow me to introduce the African American Family Network, our parent group, which will foster community and empower Black families. We aim to provide a safe space to celebrate our culture and historical achievements. Aligned with the LCAP report, our parent outreach program seeks to support struggling students at NCS by connecting them with resources, advocating for high-quality educational experiences. We extend a warm welcome invitation to participate in our efforts, starting with our first mixer, where we will have moms come together to discuss our shared vision for a brighter educational future at NCS. Your support in sharing our information and potentially a monthly meeting space is crucial in making our initiatives successful. Thank you for your time, attention, and commitment to ensuring NCS remains a beacon of diversity, equity, and inclusion on our campus.
All right, thank you very much for sharing that information. All right, next up, hearing of the public for items on the agenda.
Nothing received from me.
Okay, our students are here. We have to do a roll call for the group, or you got it? Okay, Gianna, roll call. We didn't catch up.
Just say here.
Here.
All right, Milo.
Here.
Let's see, Kaya.
Kia. Here.
Kia, oh, I'm gonna get it at some point. Kia, and let's see, Diego's absent,
Diego is absent, correct.
and Alani.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, Diego's first up. Is somebody reading for ECA?
I can.
Okay.
All right, so here's Diego's report. First of all, on October 25th, we had secondary schools night at Natomas High School. This is where schools from all over Natomas were present to share different high school and middle school options in the area. Mrs. Woods, along with other high school principals, promoted application season. At ECA, we have 4 new students who are settling into life with ECA with the help of student mentors. We also had Spirit Week for Halloween and College Application Week, the 30th through November 3rd. The costume contest winner was Justice. The college door decorating winner was the freshman class. We had dress up days and boomerangs. 4 ECA students were inducted into the National Honor Society at the induction ceremony on November 2nd. They will contribute to our school community this year through a peer tutoring program. On November 9th, we had our ECA Staff Development Day. On that day, there were no workshops for students, but staff was working hard at meeting to improve our program. And then on November 10th, we celebrated a Recognized Veterans Day, and there was no school for students.
All right. Thank you, Diego. Leading edge update, Kia.
Hello and welcome back to another board meeting. So let's get started on my leading edge report. So far for school culture, ASB had our Halloween activities on October 31st. We had a Halloween costume contest and parade. The parade was held in our hallway where students who were dressed up got to show off their costumes and students who weren't dressed up got to cheer them on. Our Halloween costume contest was our first time doing it this year. And basically, the students who were dressed up got to participate in a contest if they thought they had a really cool costume. And our top 3 winners got gift cards. We also sold food gramps. For recent events, our first basketball game for JV was held on November 1st. Our Humanities Night was on November 2nd, this year having a Dia de los Muertos or Day of the Dead theme due to our new Spanish class that we've added this year. Our 8th graders had a roller skating trip where they got to have fun roller skating with the whole grade, and their teacher, Ms. Williams, took lead and taught them how they can apply math in daily life. Secondary Schools Night, which happened on October 25th, were held at Natomas High. Myself, and our previous school board rep, Tomby, were over there with Dr. Locktiff spreading information about Leading Edge. Preview day for 5th graders at STAR on November 10th. It wasn't the 9th, I'm so sorry. But no, it wasn't the 9th. It wasn't the 9th, but 5th graders get to come over and to explore PFA and Leading Edge and see if they'd like to start their middle school journeys there. And then Mummy's Tomb, which was on November 10th, is a play that all 6th graders got to be a part of, and it's based on what they've been learning in humanities class based on ancient civilizations. And finally, for academics, our end of trimester was on November 10th. That's it.
All right. Thank you. PFAA, Gianna.
Hello, everyone. So starting off, PFA hosted a spooky lunch, which was full of performances, as well as a teacher versus student pumpkin competition just for our student culture. And then we also, as arts department, celebrated Dia de los Muertos. Ceramics 2 made Tree of Life sculptures, and then Ballet 3 all the way through Ballet 2 and 1 did a big performance during lunch. Next up, we have the visual arts show as well as the National Honor Society induction ceremony on the 2nd of November. And yeah, it was a great event, and it ran very smoothly. Next up, we had the middle school dance was on the 3rd, that Friday. High school ASB members helped run that event. And then we had Jazz at the Ben on the 8th, and that was with both vocal and all music departments. And we also had a guest performers, and the first time in a while we had a vocal performer. We have the Reminisce Show, which is percussion and orchestra, coming up on the 16th, as well as Club Fair this Friday and the Link Crew field trip. The middle school rally is on the 27th, and then middle school musical is in the works of being produced, as well as Thanksgiving break next week, and an ARC concert for instrumental jazz band on the 29th. And then we have a few upcoming senior projects like the One Voice Town Hall and the PAC performance all on the 29th and the 1st. And then we have King's Dance and Vocal performance prep with vocal ensemble and the dance department. And then Week of Giving nonprofit, which is hosted by ASB. Right now, we're in the process of choosing a nonprofit to give back to, and I think the leading one is Weave, which is a nonprofit to fight against domestic violence. Yes. And it's also it's a national nonprofit, but it's also has a huge local base in Sacramento. And so we're very excited to begin that. Thank you very much.
Okay, Pat, Alana.
I had to pull it up on my phone. I forgot to print it. My bad.
Would you like a printed version? I can bring you mine.
Oh,
Would that be
okay,
helpful?
yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
So, hi, I'm super excited to express what has happened in the past month. On October 23rd was the start of Red Ribbon Week. Ms. Zoba, PAC's counselor, talked about drug awareness in multiple variations of her counseling classes. On October 24th, there was STEM Harvest Night. It was a huge success. We had a lot of fun and engaging activities, including tornado simulations, oobleck, balloon races, scent guessing, apple tasting throughout the night. It was a hit. On October 25th, we had a social for middle schoolers. It was really inclusive, my bad. This was really inclusive and like social, with food, dress dance, bracelet making for council member Talamanx, and Taylor Swift era's movie screening benefits. Benefiting the Stanford Settlement neighborhood group. On October 30th was the start of Spirit Week. Barbie vs. Ken was for that day. October 31st was Halloween. We had a dress-up day for people who are on campus. For November 1st was Spirit Week. We had Crocs vs. Converse, or any kind of sneaker for that matter. We had it was kind of like a tower type. Each person got to build up their part of the tower with the type of shoes that they chose. On October 2nd, we had class colors. Each grade had their own colors that they would wear for that day. And on October 3rd, we had the field trip to San Francisco Exploratorium. There was an optional ferry that you could get on instead of driving straight to the Exploratorium. People who attended got to see cool gadgets and gizmos aplenty. On November 7th, there was a parent coffee talk. And on October 8th, there was a Black Rock visitation for the 5th graders, preparing them for middle school, guiding to see what was around the campus, what they wanted to explore. On November 10th, we had no school in honors of Veterans Day. And then finally, that brings us to today on November 13th for our book.
All right, Star Academy, Milo.
Who won the contest? The Crocs?
Yeah.
Oh.
Who won the-
It was the any sneaker choice. It was weird. Crocs was a close second though.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Hello, Natoma Shire board members. My name is Marlo, and I am excited to share Star Academy's updates for October. First up, we had our International Walk to School Day. JAB and our school collaborated and had a safe route for students and families to walk to school. At the end of our walk, we all met up on the blacktop while a DJ played music, and students and teachers danced their hearts out. Also, the student government had a Socktober donation drive. We collected 300 pairs of socks, which will be donated to unhoused children and families in our community. Additionally, on October 19th, we had our Great American Shakeout and Evacuation Drill. This event is important for students to know how to protect themselves during an earthquake. Next, we had our King's Dance rehearsals and upcoming performance. 3rd through 5th grade students auditioned for a special dance at the December 11th King's Game. PFAA dancers are teaching us and rehearsals are going well. The performance is coming up real fast, but we are excited to bring out energy and confidence to this dance. Field trips have started wonderfully. Teachers have given me some details to share with you all. First, on October 5th, TK went to Dave's Pumpkin Patch. They had 13 parents join them as chaperones. They took a tractor ride, looked at the life cycle of a pumpkin in the field, picked pumpkins, played in the jumping pillow, and ate lunch. For many of our students, this was their first field trip, first time on a school bus, and first time visiting a place without their families. They did great and did a wonderful job. Next, the third graders went to the Placer Nature Center in Auburn. They were able to see where and how the Maidu lived. They were able to hike through nature and learn about the natural resources they used to survive. Another event in October was our Fall Festival. Parents made an event for our school community, and it was outstanding. There were carnival games and prizes, a cakewalk, a glow-in-the-dark art walk, a DJ, and food trucks. My friends and I may have dominated the cakewalk, and we each went home with our own cookies. Additionally, we had our last week of enrichment activities. Some highlights were a wonderful cheer performance. Let's Get Moving hosted an awards and medal ceremony. And art club ended with the llama made with yarn. Finally, we had our book fair, Spiro Week, Red Ribbon Week, and costume parade. During Spiro Week, we had dress-up days including Team Sports Day, costumes are wear red, Wacky Wednesday, Decades Day, and pajamas and plushies. Red Ribbon Week's theme was Be Kind to Your Mind, Live Drug-Free. We had rotations between zombie tag, craft making, and rebus puzzles. During the costume parade, students had so much fun dressing up. I saw witches, superheroes, dinosaurs, and even Bob Ross. It was super cute to see all the little kids dressed up in their costumes giving high fives to the older kids. Next month, another Star Academy student will be sharing updates. Thank you for this opportunity. Being a board representative gave me confidence and the ability to stand up in front of a crowd and present. It was an honor to be here to share updates with you all about my wonderful school.
Milo, I have two quick follow-up questions for you. Can you tell us about your shirt? What's this?
Everyone paid for a shirt, and this was the shirt that we used to go on our field trip to explore the Black Rock campus.
So is that the 5th grade class t-shirt, basically?
Yes, all 5th grade went here, and then we got to learn about the middle schools.
Well, now was my other question. What did you think about the visit to the Black Rock campus?
Honestly, I thought it was really cool. I like the videos between PFA and Leading Edge. I thought they were really inspiring, and I'm a sports guy, so I'm gonna go to Leading Edge. I like drawing and playing music, but sports is kind of my thing. So I'm going to Leading Edge next year, and I feel like it's gonna be a wonderful opportunity.
The good news is Kia can tell you get to do sports and some art at Leading Edge, so get a little both.
Milo, you want to turn around and show them what's on the back?
Oh, very cool.
It's all 5th grade classes.
Thank you, Milo.
All right, thank you very much. So I'm sorry, we're gonna have a different rep just for next meeting, or somebody new for next few?
So I did 3 board meetings, and there's 2 other representatives. So the next meeting, there's going to be a different one who's going to present 3, and then after those 3, there's going to be another one who's going to present the final 3.
Great. Okay. All right. Thank you.
And Milo, when you leave today, you're welcome to take the name part out of that gold holder and take it with you.
But you can't take the cushion.
Well, they don't get cushions. You gotta be old like us to get cushions. So we can sit here for hours.
Thank you all.
All right. Okay, next up, we need to approve tonight's agenda. Any comments, changes, updates, additions, subtractions? No, we can't subtract. No, okay, may I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda? Thank you, Doug. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Preeti. Roll call vote, Mallory.
Here.
Jennifer, I'm a yes. Preeti? Yes. Dr. Mayorado?
Yes.
Gina? Yes. Sean?
Yes.
Nita's absent. Doug? Okay. Moving right along. Bye, thank you.
Hi, thank you for joining us.
Okay, consent items. May I have a motion to approve tonight's consent items?
So moved.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, second, Nita. Roll call vote, Doug.
Yes.
Nita. She's not here. Sean.
Yes.
She's still not here. Gina.
Yes.
Maria.
Yes.
Preeti.
Yes.
Jennifer, I'm a yes. Mallory.
I'm here.
Okay. All right. You want? All right. Let's see. Action items. Approval of Board of Directors Chairperson and Secretary.
So tonight, we need to appoint a new chairperson, or reappoint a new chairperson and a secretary. You'll notice on the cover sheet that Jennifer is listed for 1 year and Maria is listed for 2 years. That's because actually at the end of this year, Jennifer is termed out. She will have done her 6 years under our new term. So she has graciously agreed to be the chair for the duration of her final year, and Maria has graciously agreed to be the secretary. So with that, we just need a motion and a vote, but Jennifer and Maria cannot vote on this one.
I motion.
I'll second. Thank you, Mallory. Thank you, Gina. Roll call vote, Mallory.
Yes.
Doug.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Gina.
Yes.
Yes. All right, moving right along. The school calendar.
Fun one. It's actually like Anita and I get very excited about this because this is how like we start doing all of our financial planning for the school year, right? So what you have before you is the 25-26 calendar, which you guys have already approved the 24-25 calendar. Remember, we're going to like an every 2 year sort of model. So the calendar before you would be for the 25-26 school year. And you can see kind of some highlights. School starts on August 13th that year. We have our fall break the first full week in October. We then have Veterans Day and Thanksgiving break in November, followed by winter break. Moving on in January, we have our MLK holiday weekend with a staff development day. We then have our President's Day weekend, and then spring break is in April. And then we have our May staff development day and Memorial Day, and the school would end on June 12th that particular year.
Okay, any questions, comments? All right, may I have a motion to approve the 2025-2026 school calendar?
I motion.
Thank you, Mallory. May I have a second? Thanks, Doug. Roll call vote, Mallory.
Yes.
Doug.
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
Gina. Yes. Doctora.
Yes.
Jennifer, I'm a yes. Preeti, yes. Okay.
And then just one little quick follow-up on that so the board knows. Tomorrow, we will actually be sending out communications to families about both school years' calendars and some reminders around vacation planning, like when's a good time to take independent study, not a good time to take independent study. As like all schools across California, we are conquering chronic absenteeism.
Excellent. All right. Enrollment report, Dr. Wood.
So before you is the October 31st enrollment report. As the board knows, basically we provide an enrollment report from the previous month at each board meeting. Kind of looking down the numbers here, basically as on Halloween, so on October 31st, the leading edge was at 261, still at 261. PACT was at 131, today they're at 130, so PACT kind of goes back and forth. PFA was at 759, is now at 758. Star Academy is still at 600, and then ECA has actually picked up 2 kids, and so is at 117.
Okay, great. Comments, questions? All right, recruitment and retention presentation, and David and
I'll give you guys some time. And today I have a presenter. I'd love to introduce you to Kiwana Bill. She is our HR and payroll analyst, and she is also alumni, which she doesn't mind me sharing, class of 2000. See if you want to go to the next slide. So tonight, this is actually the first time I've done a presentation on just focusing on human resources instead of the whole business office, and we're going to be talking about recruitment and retention. So if you go to the next one. So as you know, your strategic goal is the number one is attracting and retaining staff. So I'm going to start off by just going over some industry trends right here that we have. So in 2023, basically we're moving from a reactive processes to more proactive recruitment because COVID has changed everything on there. And so on the national level, which is all industries nationwide, there's workforce shortages everywhere. The percentage of students pursuing bachelor's degrees has declined, and transition from work to home positions, depending on people's styles, that has been a change after COVID. And then also inflation in the economy really affects whether or not people are staying in their current positions. So when you just look at K-12 education, the number of certificated staff has gone down, people entering the field. They're desiring a better work balance life, so depending on what position, how they feel their job workload is and stuff, they're changing positions. Some are wanting more flexibility for remote work as well. Compensation and benefits are also always a factor. And then what they call stressful situations. So this could be, the political environment, just focus on education, the world as a whole, local politics going on, as well as community mental health issues, and then also parent and student behavioral situations and stuff too that staff may feel are stressful situations that again are leading them to consider career changes on there. So it's like.
And then so we have our new NCS new hires for the 23-24 school year. So we brought on 21 certificated employees, and then we had 16 non-certificated employees. Next would be the NCS separations in 2022-23. We had 25 certificate employees transition out and 19 non-certificate employees. So NCF staff retention based off the LCAP is at 80%, and then we had one retiree from STAR. And then with our substitute new hires, we were able to get 10 certificated, which is really exciting because that was a struggle. And then we got 6 non-certificate employees, which were primary paraprofessionals. And then our NCS substitute separations, we had 53 employees for certificated and 12 for non-certificated. So with the 53, the large numbers that were removed, a lot of the inactive ones. So those were people who did not respond to our reasonable assurance letter that we send out, or they didn't update their credentials, or they weren't updating their TV. So they transitioned them. And then some of the places that we have found success with finding recruitment is EdJoin, Indeed, LinkedIn, job fairs and career fairs. We have touch bases and work with contracting agencies for those harder to fill positions like the ed specialist. And we've had big success with hiring alumni like myself.
All right, so some of our challenges, we're getting low applicants applying and low numbers and stuff. And that is, we're seeing with our other neighboring schools as well. Also, applicants that don't have the right experience or the right credential for the position they're actually applying for. Increased wages and benefits from schools. We're competing out there and it's getting really hard and stuff too. Also, the quality of contracting agency candidates, when, like Kiwana said, those hard to fill positions, we go out and stuff. But now, they're pretty stretched as well too. So sometimes we're finding challenges with the quality of people that are available to us. So sometimes they don't work out and we have to release them. And then also competing simultaneously for job offers. So this is actually also a national trend where a lot of people are applying for multiple positions, negotiating and stuff, accepting positions, and then later coming back saying that they decided they're not going to take the position. And so that, I think that's just their negotiation with all of these employers going on. So for us, our employee retention, as you know, it's our number one priority. We are providing ongoing salary increases whenever possible as part of our budget process. We're always reviewing our health and welfare packages. So this year, at the beginning of the year for the adopted budget, we saw based on a prior year comp study that we were a little short on employee plus dependent and family. So we increased those levels of contributions. Also, annual goal setting with employees. One of the things that our employees appreciate is that we're an organization that has a collaborative effort on its goal setting. It's not like the supervisor saying, okay, I want this to your goal. Our employees appreciate the fact that they have, they can decide what their goals are and stuff too with their supervisors as well. Professional development opportunities, we have a lot of them and compared to other schools. And then also we really promote staff within the organization whenever we can.
Okay, so with the employee exits, one of the things that we launched for the 22-23 school year is that we were doing employee exit interviews. So we wanted to focus on seeing what was happening with staff wanting to transition out. So we had 27 participants that volunteered to do this. And one of the trends for leaving NCS was salary and benefits, seeking professional growth. That was something that they couldn't do while here. Remote work flexibility, or others, which was culture or family matters.
And so this is kind of like our NCS approach because we are different by design. I always call it growing our own. We always are trying to promote whenever possible. And because of our professional development, it does give our employees an edge to kind of look at those promotional opportunities and go from a teacher to an associate principal, and we have mentor programs. So not only our credential induction programs for beginning teacher, we have an aspiring leaders program, and that is voluntary for some of our teachers that are pursuing their admin credential. And the curriculum was developed by our own Miss Taylor back there, which before, well, she was principal. And now that program has been taken over by Laura Burial since Amy.
That's still me.
Oh, it is? Okay, so it's still curriculum, okay. So actually that we have in-house professional development opportunities. Like I said, we do invest a lot of money in that. We have a couple of SCOE teacher residency programs and 2 placements this year. And we have intern programs. We work with a number of other placements where candidates fresh out of college are being placed in an intern program. Those organizations can include Yolo County, UMass, a bunch of Fortune's school. And then also what was new last year was the Sacramento County Office of Education's classified intern program. So this is where paraprofessionals can become a teacher. And so we've had some success on that. They've had a lot of openings, and we still continue to have a lot of our paras interested in becoming teachers.
Fred, just a little clarification work, because we're talking about things that we talk about all the time, but you might be like, wait, what's the difference? So there are 3 programs. There's the intern programs, the residency program, and the classified intern program. So intern programs is what we had before the pandemic. We've actually had them for a number of years. The idea is that someone can become a teacher while they're in their credential program. Those still exist, but 2 new programs were developed by the Sacramento County Office of Education with COVID dollars. And so one was a teacher residency program, which is where we hire someone as a paraprofessional while they're going through their credentialing program, with the idea that once they complete their credentialing program, we would then move them into a teaching position. And we actually have 2 individuals who are paraprofessionals at Star Academy that are in that program right now. And then the classified intern program is really one that's really focused initially on helping classified individuals get their bachelor's degree, because you can't go into any credentialing program without your bachelor's degree. And then once that is complete, then helping them move into a credentialing program.
How many do you have in that program?
One.
Well, actually, Amy, I was gonna say, we had about 5 applicants, but how many got in? Because it's selective, right?
For the teacher residency?
No,
the
the classified.
program. Yeah. Because they actually have to apply to the program and be selected.
We have one.
There's 2 stages to it. There's one in
like a beginner stage, needing to
Their
finish their
AA.
bachelor's degree in that. And then there's one that is in the regular, has a bachelor's degree and is working for a credential.
Towards your credential, okay.
Both at
You
STAR.
suck too. But they have so many slots every year through this grant and that they have to apply. They've come to our campus to present to the non-instructional staff to get them to apply, answer questions and stuff, and so.
And really what's happening there is, the county's trying to make the pipeline bigger, which is great. The problem that we're still having though is there's not a whole lot of people wanting to get into the pipeline. And so while there's more opportunities, which is awesome, that's where, Anita and Kiwana were talking about really growing our own and kind of hiring within. That's actually where we're finding the greatest success is, when we're working with a paraprofessional or a campus monitor, let's say who's really interested in teaching and seems to have really good rapport with kids, then kind of helping them say, okay, well, what credential might you be interested in? And especially in our hard to fill positions like special education, and even lower elementary, like K-3, that's with universal TK happening throughout the state, right? The state's like, we're gonna have TK for everyone, which was awesome, but all of us administrators were like, great, who's teaching those classes? And so that's part of how these programs have come to be. And we're fortunate in that we have a really good relationship with the Sacramento County Office of Education. So with each of these programs, they've kind of let us be on the ground floor with them. So as they're developing it, taking feedback from us, but then that's benefiting us in the sense that, right now, school-wide with all those programs, we probably have about 6 to 7 people that are sort of on a path to getting their teaching credential that we wouldn't otherwise actually have in our pipeline. So we feel really fortunate that we have that, but we still need to, get more and more people interested in coming into the education field.
So they continue their job, and then, so what do we offer them to encourage them to go for the bachelor's degree, let's say if they don't have a bachelor's?
So with most of these programs, it's letting them keep their employment at our school while they're working in those programs. And most of those programs, the fees are all covered. So they're not actually covered by us, they're covered largely by the county office through COVID dollars that they've received. But right now, if you get into those programs, you can get your bachelor's degree significantly covered and potentially your teaching credentials significantly covered. And at least those of us that, we're like old school teachers, we didn't have the luxury of working while we were doing student teaching. It was one or the other. And so all of these programs are set up so that what would be considered your student teaching, you can actually be working as a paraprofessional. So, one of our individuals is a paraprofessional in a TK classroom. And the idea is that person will become a TK teacher because they've been getting mentorship the entire time that they're there working with a veteran teacher. So it's a really great model. And for, like I said, those are our old school. It's like, okay, 25 years ago, I wish we would have that. But we're still trying to build up that pipeline a little bit.
So they take the courses at night?
Or
Saturdays,
yeah.
or whatever. And so SCOE offers?
They have a partnership with UMass.
UMass, okay.
For the bachelor's degree program.
Okay.
And then for the credentialing program, SCOE's doing it on their own.
So one of the things I wanted to mention, we're going to continue to focus on is attending job fairs. So last year we really started doing it. This year I'm having the staff tracking the different career and job fairs. But I'd like you to mark your calendars for March 2nd for that's going to be our second annual Charter School Collaborative Career Fair. So we had one last year. We'd love to have board presence there. It's from 10 to 1 at Star Academy and the NPR. But with the tracking of the job fairs, we want to know, because we always have sign-in sheets for my staff. There, how many people came to the table, how many people contacted us afterwards or applied, seeing which ones are, because there's so many job fairs out there right now. We want to focus on the ones that we get the most return for. Also, the comp study that Ziba does, we're taking that information, and right now we're working with other employee groups to refining our schedules, because the competition for salary and benefits for the local schools is really tough out there, and we're looking at employee benefits as well on there too. And then what I started this year, and I'm going to continue, is entrance interviews. So that's why did you come here? I'm hoping to get a little golden nugget of, for recruitment and retention on there. But what I'm finding though so far is that it's kind of like with our enrollment. they're familiar with the school, they could be a parent already, they love the culture and things like that. So it's not like, oh yeah, I went to this one website and I'm focused, on that. And it's a lot of it is word of mouth, or I've heard great things about your school and I really wanted to be here and stuff too. And then we're gonna continue on with the exit interview process. So now we'll have entrance and exit, hopefully, that data that we can share and change our processes if needed on that. So I'll open it up for questions.
Yeah, I had a question. What does your mentoring program look like here?
Oh, so we have various ones here. The mentoring program I referred to, the big one is the SCOE induction program, right? But then also, because we're so different and stuff too, we offer what I call the NCS Cultural Mentor Program. So each new teacher, even if they're a seasoned teacher with 10 years, if they come to our school, they are assigned a teacher within that academy to be their mentor. How we do things here, that type of stuff, which has also been given really great feedback as well too. So it's not just like, you're in this induction program, you're gonna get a mentor, but it's also for the seasoned teachers that just come to our school and they have like a buddy to show them the ropes of how we do things.
Do you do that for your classified or your non-credential staff as well?
That's a great question, and right now, and unless the principals are doing it internally, we don't have a formal one. So these are the mentoring, the cultural mentors. They actually get paid to do so many hours with their teachers and stuff. But we do have the employee orientation program for on the instructional side, as well as the paras and stuff, where Laura Burial and some of our TOSAs are providing them some information and stuff too, more classroom-based information, but that's about all for our non-instructional.
Yeah, so you don't do anything like
We're not
your
hooked up for
monitors,
study.
like your monitors?
Right.
Yeah, that's
So,
probably
but it
something.
could be that the supervisors that direct are doing something.
I think that's an area we could definitely look to grow a little bit, kind of formalizing training and support and mentoring. for
Yeah,
our
especially with
non-student
the
staff.
the culture of this
Yes.
institution.
Yeah, what we do here.
Yeah, that would be important.
Yeah.
So when you're doing the mentoring program, does the mentor have a formal rubric or whatever to follow? Or is it sort
For
of-
our teachers that are mentoring the other,
Yeah.
and stuff, and actually, no, they do. or
It's
the-
with SCOE, they do.
Oh, wait, not, but ours, I don't.
But the NCS, so.
The NCS one, unless one of our principals took it upon themselves to develop one, I don't think there's any formal one. They're pretty much given basic, within the job description, this is what you should be doing as a mentor. I mean, you can try
I
to,
have there's some formalized stuff depending on where they're at.
but not a rubric.
So
There's
Oh, there's.
let me change my question. So if I'm selected to be a mentor and I'm being compensated for my time to work with someone who's new to NCS, is there a formal program that I follow to ensure that I'm passing along points A, B, C, D, E, or is it just sort of, we trust you to pass along what's important?
Well, what Amy had mentioned is that she does have, written
If
down
they're
rubrics.
new, like brand new teacher, whether they're an intern or if there was SCOE induction or something to that extent, there is a rubric for it and a format to follow. The only one that I'm not sure on would be if you have a veteran teacher coming in and matched up with someone. That's the only one. I think it varies depending on what they're doing.
Okay.
And so a little context on that. So the intent of the cultural mentor was really to help people be successful in our culture, where we didn't necessarily have a question about their teaching ability, but it was more everything from like, where's the copier? To, wow, I've never gotten so many engaged parent emails before, like how do I navigate this? And I do think each principal has kind of handled that a little bit differently. I think, certain academy principals know, okay, these are gonna be the 5 topics that we need to talk about type thing. But I think that feedback that you're providing, and maybe we could do some more formalizing around the certificated mentorship would be good, especially kind of in this new post-COVID job hiring reality of like, we're not always necessarily hiring people that have the same, numbers of years of experience maybe that we did before the pandemic.
Right, and definitely, where's the copier, how do we do this, how do we do that, that's super important, and I think everybody's experience is gonna sort of inform their own training program, and there might be something.
Right, and
to
we do,
benefit.
I mean, we can formalize that, because we need to look at where are the gaps that are not being
Yeah.
addressed in these other programs, and then making sure that we have something put together so we touch all of that.
Yeah, I had a question about, regarding the employee exits, and you mentioned that the 27 participants, said professional growth. There was no professional, and yet we do have Growing Your Own program. So where do you find the discrepancy there?
So with something like that, they may be looking to go into like an admin position. So if it's not available at that time, they're seeking to go somewhere else where it's available. So not that we don't offer professional growth in general, but it's more specific to what they're looking for at that time.
And that those 27 responses represent about 62% of the people that left. It's all voluntary, and it's all,
Both certificate and classified?
Yes.
Yeah, so some would say, that they return it to us and stuff, and then we didn't get it back or whatever and stuff too. But 62%, we were happy for the first year of getting that response and stuff too.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Anita and Kiwana, thank you very much. I'm gonna turn on the other set of lights just so that we don't fall asleep in here. Unless someone's.
We never fall asleep. Come on, Charles. You were right.
My old eyes are getting to the point I can't see things now. Okay,
All right,
sorry.
student services presentation.
Thanks for waking me up.
Good evening, everyone. First I have to say, our students did such a great job of updating you all on what's going on that my report's just I'll just cruise through it, and next time we'll just have them do it. There's a lot of overlapping on that one, which is great. So good evening. I'm excited to be in front of you and share where we're at in terms of staffing, projects, and developments happening within our student services department this year so far. Today we'll be going over, we'll be going over who is on the student services team, the resources we are currently offering our students, some of the department updates and celebrations, and then also where we are heading as a department in support of students. So I'm not going to read through the whole list, but you can see that we have quite a lot going on within our department. We have quite a few social, emotional, and academic counselors, TK through 12. We do have a full-time nurse and 2 health aides supporting our schools, before and after school full support staff member, some campus monitors, and an amazing administrative assistant who keeps us all pulled together every day. So with regards to some of the supports that we offer our students, we do in the area of mental health, we do a lot of tier 1 supports across all academies. We have adopted Character Strong, and so our classroom teachers are spending time weekly going through these lessons TK through 12. We'll look at some of the topics ahead that we're covering. At each of our academies, we're also doing small group social emotional support through things like Learning Lab, Lunch Bunch, and different win times. We do offer one-to-one student check-ins as well. One thing that we just have to be cautious of is we're not a therapy center, but we are here to support our students in 6 to 8 week cycles, just to get them the mental health support they need so that they can fully engage in their academics. We have done a great job partnering with our outside agencies. So if a student is getting counseling outside, or maybe they have medical needs, we are able to provide a release of information so that we can be more strategic in supporting our students at school based on what they need at home. With regard to our academic counseling, this is a busy department, especially this time of the year. We are in the full swing of college application season. And so our academic counselors have been doing a great job of bringing colleges to campus to introduce themselves to our students, to provide scholarship opportunities for our students. And we are in full swing of applications. So our counselors are doing one-on-one sessions or small group sessions to help with college applications, and are going to be doing some parent information nights on completing FAFSAs for college. In our lower grades, we're really focused on making sure that our kids have grades above B's and F's, and that they are on track to graduate with the required classes. so that they're ready to graduate on their senior year. Recently, we did have D and F conversations, so anytime we have a student with a D or an F, our administration and our counselors poll the students to determine what supports do they need and how they can help support that student in raising their grades. And then we have a whole host of other supports, so this is kind of like the hodgepodge. But we really want to offer all the supports and resources for our students to be successful in a more comprehensive way. So in tandem with IEPs, we have 504s, which are just different accommodations and modifications for students without disabilities. Working closely with our families in terms of healthcare plans, diabetes management. And then we also spend time in the world of campus safety and supervision. We're also supporting our unhoused students through the McKinney-Vento program, and then also offering before and after school care enrichment programs, TK through 12. I joke that this is the Department of Leisure, so we just have like one or two things going on here and there. So this is a snapshot of what we do within our department. So some good updates that have been happening. Again, our students, I'm just repeating them at this point, and I'm not going to do it even half as well as they did. But we had our great Red Ribbon Week at Star Academy. Our student government is busy as a group of 5th grade students who coordinate things like Socktober, where they collect socks for unhoused individuals. And then again, our students are engaged in weekly SEL lessons, and you can see some of the lessons that they're engaged with every week. And that's through our counselor and our counseling interns as well. Shifting over to the upper grades at PFAA, ECA, and Leading Edge, we did engage in Suicide Prevention Week and Red Ribbon Week, really just supporting our students in making healthy choices. Our counselors did a phenomenal job of rolling out Parent View, where they show screenagers, and it's called Under the Influence, but it's really focused on vaping and the harmful effects of vaping. All of our students watched it here at the Black Rock campus, and then our families had an opportunity to view it in the VEN, and I think we had about 40 parents come out for that event too. In addition to that, our counselors did pass out resources to students every day during these weeks to just really reinforce the concepts that we want our kids to make healthy choices. We also have some great small groups happening at Leading Edge, where you can see some of the much needed, if y'all have any middle schoolers, you know these are some really needed social skills right now. In terms of the academic supports, just kind of following up on that again, a lot of that one-on-one college application support, supporting with FAFSAs, and just making sure that our kids are on track to graduate and have the required courses. Shifting over a little bit to, can you go to the next slide? Thank you, sorry. Supporting with our principals. So there is a statewide movement, I'm sure you all know, in California, that we move away from suspensions and exclusionary discipline practices. That would be in terms of suspensions and expulsions as well. It is called out very clearly in California Education Code. I'm gonna spare you the boring ed code, but if you want me to send it to you, I almost have it memorized at this point. But so we're really working with our principals to understand what ed code says, the harmful effects of exclusionary discipline, and how we can implement alternatives to suspension. And I like to bring my favorite book out. It's called Don't Suspend Me. And within that, there are different ways that you can support students in really reflecting on their behavior, where you can provide some instruction and then also provide some consequences. An example of this would be if a student trashed the bathroom. The natural consequence would be, well, I need you to go in the bathroom and help clean it up, and maybe help the custodian with some projects around campus. So more of that restorative lens. Natoma's charter, we don't really have a lot of suspensions or expulsions, so this is not a huge lift for us, but it is an opportunity to just examine our current practices and making sure that we're really being intentional with the consequences that we administer to students. And so we're digging into that work across all 5 academies. We are also launching another multi-year project. This is our PBIS implementation. So there are the different tiers. And really we're starting at the first tier, and that's developing consistent expectations for our students across all 5 academies. So we'll really be digging into these 4 questions of what are the expectations we have of our students? How do we teach those? How do we reteach those? How do we reinforce those? And what happens when students don't follow those expectations? And we really want to just align our behaviors across campus. So for example, here at Black Rock, everyone will be on the same page of what we expect for bathroom behavior or hallway behavior, so that our students come to be aware and everyone is consistent on the expectations. It's not like this teacher over here says this and this campus monitor says this. So really codifying our practices and expectations. We'll be digging into that work starting in January, and we'll be working with Placer County Office of Education Each academy has a pretty comprehensive team that will be attending. It will be the site administrator, a handful of classroom teachers, counselors, some special education staff, so that's it's a really well-rounded group that will be attending and digging into this work. Just shifting to a couple of quick celebrations within our department. I was really excited. It was our first year of online PSAT administration. And so it was very stressful because we had to make sure we had all of our ducks in a row and had accommodations in the system, but we were able to pull it off. Our counselors did an amazing job on that. So we were able to have a little over 100 of our PFA and ECA students participate in the PSAT, which just gives them practice for the SAT, but then also opens up opportunities for scholarships and grants as well. And then the last celebration that I wanted to share with you was that we did have 19 of our 10th, 11th, and 12th grade students attend the HBCU. And that was where there were 35 historically Black colleges and universities where students got to meet recruiters. They had the opportunity to learn about different colleges and different opportunities to be awarded scholarships. It was exciting because we did have 5 on-the-spot acceptance letters, and then we also had a student earn a $28,000 scholarship. So huge celebrations for our kids. At this time, I welcome any questions.
I had a couple of questions. Please. The last thing you said about the kids who took the October PSAT, and you said that it opens them for scholarships and grants. How does that work?
So being new in this position, I'm going to tell you I'm not 100% sure, but from what I understand, the reports do get generated to families, and then there's the opportunity to learn from using the way the student scored, it opens up the opportunities, and that can be done with the parents. We do have interest in having our counselors have access to that so they can collaborate with families in terms of digging into those opportunities.
So as a parent of a child who did take the PSAT, what would I need to do to make sure the counselor has that, what do I do with that?
That is a great question. Joe, I'm going to lean to you. My understanding is that you would just get a report as a parent and then it would open up the opportunities with you, but it's not necessarily linking to the school at this time. So we want to dig into that of how can we make a homeschool connection.
What will happen is for the 10th and 11th graders who took the PSAT, there will actually, Wendy and Megan will actually meet with those students to kind of go over the scores and understand them. And it's all done through this digital portal, which will have links to some of the scholarship opportunities and resources. I believe the PSAT data is also where the national merit students will be potentially identified from. So there's some different sources like that come in. We also, like I said, really first and foremost, the PSAT is practice for them to take the SAT, just so like they're familiar with the format and that sort of thing. But then the staff, the counseling staff will use it as an opportunity to kind of talk to kids about what resources are available to them based on how they scored on that particular assessment.
The other question I had is the November 28th upcoming Cash for College workshop. So that's open to everyone?
It is.
And we'll get more details of time?
It should be coming out. Gosh, that's the year's coming by. It's going by so quickly.
Sure.
Information should be coming out within the next month.
It is primarily targeted at seniors, though.
Well, that's what I wondered, but as an 11th grade parent, I could show up.
You're of course more than welcome. But the idea is that it's like, so as a parent of an incoming senior, what will happen is the college application process for you will really kick off in the summer when Megan will actually have some college application boot camps that she does in this very room with the kids about getting all of their documents together for the college application process. And then she'll actually have a series of afternoon workshops as well. And then while they're waiting their college application results, then they kind of go into the scholarship process, which the Cash for College event is typically part of that, and really kind of teaching kids like what are all the scholarship opportunities that you can potentially apply for, where are they located, that sort of thing.
Local scholarships?
And national.
And national.
Yeah. All of the above. I mean, as the executive director, I get probably at least once a week, like an email about a scholarship opportunity. So then I send it over to the counseling department, and then they get it out to the junior, or to the seniors.
To the seniors, so not to the.
If I am correct, when you apply for that SAT, you apply for the College Board,
Mhm.
and then the College Board will send you various emails and updates on scholarships and things like that too.
So my last question is, what kind of supports does the McKinney-Vento do for the unhoused? Like what kinds of things?
That's a great question. Thank you. So we were able to secure bus passes through Sacramento Transportation, and so we do have bus passes if students need transportation. We've also been able to secure funds to buy things like backpacks and school supplies for students.
Great, thank you.
It's a very, very small percentage that we have, but it's important that we have those resources.
Yeah, great, thank you.
And Gareth is watching from home, and he wanted us to let everyone know that Cash for College is on November 28th at 6 p.m. in the multipurpose room.
Thank you, Mr. Weber. You're on.
Oh, technology is great. That was fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much.
Dr. Wood?
So our next item for the evening is we are going to review our board governance handbook. I know it sounds super exciting on the surface, but it really actually is exciting. So you should have a copy of it in your packet. Is that what it is?
Yes, in the packet.
Okay. Can you also bring up a digital copy of it there, just to make it easier for everyone to see?
You don't have it.
It's digital, it's not
digital.
digital.
No, I'm sorry.
Well, we can go through it together. So basically tonight, what we're going to do is we're gonna kind of look through each page here. And then I'll kind of provide an overview of what the information is, and then Jen, as our board chair, is going to facilitate any questions that you have. So a little context on this document, especially for anyone that is new or just doesn't remember. So when I came into this role as executive director, one of the things we talked about is making sure that the board was could be an ongoing sustaining board. And one of the big pieces of that is like, how do we work together as a governance team? And so we worked with an outside consultant, his name is Dr. Walt Hanline, and we developed this board governance handbook, which is really a commitment amongst all of you as board members that this is how you're going to interact with each other. This is very commonly done in all school districts. If you look on any school district website and their board page, you'll probably find the board governance handbook. So it's a very common practice. And what we do is we review it once a year. So the first page, which Ziva has up there, which is building a governance team, is really this idea that the executive director and the board are committed to working together as a governance team. And that we have a unified purpose and we agree to govern with appropriate roles and create a positive culture. And so some of the things are in the, what do we stand for? And you can see that, we have the best learning environment for all students. We want to build trust, perpetuate a legacy of positive culture, understand our individual jobs, want to be partners with staff in positive change, want to oversee the putting together of a first-rate program. And then that kind of moves into our governance norms. So how do we agree to work together as a team? So one, showing respect to each other, making a commitment to open communication and honesty. Anita and I's favorite quote is no surprises. We do. This is an admin team too. Being collaborative, maintaining confidentiality, looking at lessons learned in the past, but also planning for the future, and then really commit the time to do governance well. We are all here at 8 o'clock at night on a Monday, a little tired, but it's because we're committed to being a governance team, and above all, focusing on the students' best interests is what we do. So
I don't know if I like the first sentence in that last bullet. It felt very personal. Scroll up. It said something about being here on time. You added that, I know it.
So as we go through this, if there's anything that you're like, I really think this needs to be changed, please, but this is our opportunity to kind of
strike that one.
Yeah. I think Sean's right. We need to still have enough time. But so on that first page with what we stand for in governance norms. Okay, we'll move on to the next page. So roles and responsibilities, as the board of directors, we set the direction, we establish structure, we provide support, we ensure accountability, and we act as charter leaders. We carry these responsibilities in each of the following areas. So setting the school's direction, focusing on student learning and achievement, safety and school culture, looking at finance, facilities, human resources, policy, judicial review. That's where we get to do fun things like expulsions or HR disciplinary actions. And then community relations and advocacy. All right, so now we're gonna move into protocols. Basically, how do we operate together as a board? So first area is this leadership responsibility. So board members carry authority together as a board. We make decisions. When we're sitting in a formal meeting, the board member requests actions and requests should be made in the context of intended results. So like, what are we trying to pass? What are we hoping to accomplish? In order to be effective representatives of the board, will behave at all times in a manner that respects positively on the charter, refrain from obligating the board or administrators by actual speech implication unless it's authorized by the board. So for instance, let's say we decide we want to do raises for all employees, right? That actually needs to be an action. We can't just say, oh yeah, we're giving raises. Like we actually have to have a formal action, and that is the authority of the board. Joe doesn't get to just go, yeah, we're giving raises by himself. That each board member will represent the board minimally at 2 events each year outside of the board members academy. And so that's, something that we didn't do a whole lot of during the pandemic, but now that we have events, encouraging people to come to events. That if you have any concerns, questions, or comments, that, I'm the person that those are referred to address and reinforce community messages. And then it says, in responding to concerns regarding the work of the charter, basically as a board, we receive the information, we repeat the information. So this is like if a parent comes to you concerned, receiving the information, I want to make sure I understand this clearly. Remind them that, as an individual board member, I don't have the authority to necessarily make changes, but, to redirect them, thank them for sharing their thoughts, direct them to a staff member, and then, let me know that that's happening. So if you had a situation where, a parent were to say, I'm really upset at that Star Academy principal, is of course listen, repeat, and then encourage them to reach out to the Star Academy principal, and then let me know as well so that I can follow up with them. Okay. And next page. So when interacting with the public, we're holding the highest level of professional conduct and ethics. That in the work of the charter, we support the executive director in creating and strengthening connections between community members and the charter. If you're going to be on campus, which of course you're always welcome to, that the board members are encouraged to notify the executive director they'll be visiting an academy or department. While visiting the academies or department, a board member can't make promises. So, let's say if you're visiting PFA and you're like, you guys are amazing arts teachers, I'm going to buy you all new instruments or whatever. That's not something a board member can do. And that, and actually I know for our quarterly meetings where for the most part, all of you have wanted to set up to visit classrooms and stuff. And so this next bullet point, the executive director will let the teachers know that board members are on campus. Whenever you guys come to visit, or actually any outside visitor that we have, I always let the teachers know, hey, you're gonna see a few of us walking around today. We do anything special, but just wanna let you know we're kind of walking around. And then if board members do ask staff for specific things, that staff members will relay their request to their supervisor, and that supervisors would then relay their request to me. Questions about that? Okay. Going on to the next page. Board meetings. So first, meetings of the board are held in public, but they're not open forum town hall meetings. So that's why we have the Brown Act and the whole process for receiving public comment. When the board deliberates, it's time for the directors to listen and learn from each other. And of course, taking any public input that we've received through public comment without re-engaging the public. Board meetings would be held, the second Monday of each month at 5:30, which is when we start, with closed session to follow. The executive director, with the support of staff, will create the agenda. Board members may request items to be placed on the agenda. You guys are always welcome. So we have a standing item at the end of each meeting about future board meeting topics. That's one place that you can ask. Also, though, you could shoot me an email. We need a little bit of heads up. We can't do it like the night before. But if there's a topic that you'd like to hear more about, we're happy to put it on the agenda. The executive director and the board believe that the need for information or clarification is best accomplished by the submitting of written questions or requests ahead of such meetings. So, like, let's say, you had a question about the school calendar that we approved tonight. Well, what about moving to this particular day or whatever? We appreciate receiving those in writing in advance so that we can do a little research and better understand. Sometimes it's a simple question, but sometimes it's a complex question. We have to go collect a little bit of data. Board members will make every effort to submit prior to the meeting questions they intend to ask, so the executive director and charge staff have the opportunity to prepare. When an individual board member requests information, that information will be provided to all board members. So that's why you guys get things like weekly updates or other things. You guys don't tend to ask a whole lot of questions in between our meetings, but if you were to say, I have a question about the compensation study and, you know, what's the raises look like for, you know, the school districts in the area, then that would be information that we would provide to all board members. Any questions about this section? All right. Now, this kind of gets into talking a little bit about the Brown Act. So the idea is that board members are expected to self-monitor compliance to public meeting laws of the Brown Act, including limiting closed session to legally appropriate agenda items. I don't think it's here, but you know, kind of two things to remember here is that, you know, with the Brown Act, like it said on the previous page, this is not a town hall forum. We're not engaging with the public. You know, you guys can receive public comment. Similarly, anything we discuss in closed session is confidential and only for the members who attended the closed session. So those are kind of two key Brown Act areas. Also related to the Brown Act is, you know, with digital communications, you guys do a great job at this, is not hitting reply to all. So, you know, whether we're talking about email communications or Facebook posts or text messages, you know, the idea is that the board cannot engage in conversations about school-related business unless it is in this particular forum.
And what is it? There's a maximum number, right, in terms of the Brown Act that can communicate?
It depends on how large the board is. So right now we're at 8. So a quorum, anything under 5 would be okay.
Okay.
So like if we needed, you know, 2 board members to work together on something, that's fine. Or even like I actually have our quarterly meeting set up so that we all meet one-on-one, but we could meet 3, you know, we could do 2 board members and Joe. You know, there's different ways that we can set that up. It just, we can't have a quorum, which for us is 5.
So how about if we're at an event? Is that considered a quorum or?
Not really. The idea is, you know, perception, right? And so if we were at an event, let's say we're at high school graduation, you guys are all in a corner standing together and it looks like they're talking about school business. Okay, we have a Brown Act violation. Right? If though we're at graduation, it's Memorial Auditorium and there's like 2 people on stage and 2 people sitting down in the stands and 2 people in the back, we don't have a Brown Act concern at that point. So you guys can attend the same events. In a traditional school district model, this is kind of a fun thing to observe. Watch when elected school officials go to an event together. They actually almost act like polar magnets, kind of walking around the room, and you'll sort of see like never 2 of them are together at a time because their traditional boards are only 5 members. So they hit a quorum at 3. So they have to be a little bit more conscientious.
So if we're at Night of the Kings, that's
not a thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just don't all hang out together, you know, talking about like, you know, raises that you want to give to people or facilities that you want to do. That's for the board meeting that we'll have the next night on December 12th.
Okay.
So cell phones, you know, set to silent or vibrate. If you have to check your cell phone, because, you know, life happens outside, just being really discreet about that. That we maintain confidentiality, that we review the information ahead of time and provide ongoing, and be open to any ongoing professional development and training. And that, you know, as a board, we respect the right of other board members to vote in the minority of the position. That's okay. And that, you know, if each board member agrees as a courtesy to the team to explain the reason for the minority vote, either during deliberation or after casting the vote. But, you know, typically you guys tend to be unified when you vote, but if there's a matter that you don't feel comfortable with, that's okay too. Really what this is a statement about, you know, providing maybe some context. That's okay. The board believes that it's best through the charter that the board members vote on each item of the agenda. Abstentions are most appropriate in cases where there's a personal relationship between maybe a litigant and a member, or like there's a perception of bias, or that it's a decision that financially impacts the member or their immediate family. Where an actual legal conflict exists, the members must publicly declare the conflict and recuse themselves from voting. And that when a member abstains, their abstention shall not be counted for purposes of determining whether a majority of the membership of the board has taken action. Board members will model professional behavior by being polite and respectful. You guys do a really good job of that. Other boards, still working on that. That governance team members remind that when policy decisions are made, that they're made as a board, and once the decision becomes made, it's the decision of the board. And so the idea here is that we don't have situations where they're like, well, that was Maria's policy. You know, it's like, no, it was the decision of the board, so it is our policy. Moving on to the next item, that we would strive for brevity in deliberations, but as part of the deliberation process, we would have input from the community during our public comments. that, staff will present and be happy to address questions from the board. And that, to the greatest extent possible, we're trying to keep our presentations to 15 minutes or less. There'll be board discussion and deliberation. And then in terms of policy revision, this is our policy process. So let's say we have a new policy that we need to write. We would receive suggested policy updates from our legal counsel. Then we would review the policy language and develop a suggested policy for the board to review. And new policies would be presented to the board initially in the discussion section of the agenda as a first reading, and then brought back to the board for approval the following month as a consent item. The reason why that was red is we actually had that as the action section, right? And so we're just cleaning that up to clarify our actual process. So public participation, this is just a reminder about the Brown Act, right? Governance team members are prohibited from engaging members in the public in dialogue. Also, like, let's say we have a public comment, maybe it's a contentious public comment or a public comment that doesn't make a lot of sense. A board member may ask the executive director to briefly comment for clarity or correction. So, let's say someone makes a public comment and like, that seems a little bit weird. Our typical response is, a staff member will follow up with you. But as a board member, you could say, Joe, could you provide a little bit more of this community member brought up this concern, can you provide some context for us or something like that? And that's okay. I would keep it brief. But as a member of the governance team, but not a member of the board, I'm a staff member, I can actually respond to a public comment, whereas a board member cannot. If a governance team member feels compelled to speak on the issue, the member must first be recognized by the board chair. The comments must be brief and only clarifying or correcting. Any further discussion should be agendized. Okay. And then the board will commit to working through and with the executive director on issues regarding the running of the charter. So if you see serious safety concerns, serious disciplinary action, serious or unexpected personnel changes or disciplinary issues, illness of a death or a student, staff, or board member, legal or liability concerns, notable achievements. I love how they're like all sort of like scary and sad. And then, notable achievements. The idea is that you'll let me know. So when you see that we've won, $1 million in the New York Times, you'll let me know. It's my job to organize the staff in a manner that best serves the need of the charter. As a professional courtesy, I provide appropriate notice to you all, and we've done that as we've navigated various administrative roles. It's not written here, but I will say, as executive director, I look to all of your guidance and leadership as well. And that's why you often get the text from me like, "Hey, can you have a 15-minute phone call on this topic?" The executive director speaks on behalf of the board, and the board chair is authorized to speak on behalf of the board when necessary. Some examples of this might be like if the media were to call, and the executive director would inform the board when the media contacts the executive director. All conflicts between the executive director and the board would be handled in closed session with the executive director being in attendance. And conflicts between individual board members and or the executive director will be addressed privately between those who hold the conflict and will not involve other members of the board or the public. Next part, the board commits to complete an annual evaluation of the executive director, and there'll be at least one special meeting for that. In consultation with the executive director, the evaluation process and associated documents will be developed and approved by the board no later than October 31st. So we've actually already done goals, remember? And then we have been reusing the same process over and over again. The evaluation process is designed to bring about the collective view of the board. Thus, the evaluation will reflect the majority view of the board as a whole. And then new board members, Mallory just went through this. An administrative orientation by the executive director and senior staff will provide new board members. Training may also be provided by county, state organizations, or consultants led by staff. Whenever possible, we would try to do training before the meeting of the new board member. Orientation is intended to be a conversation and overview of things members need to know immediately. Questions will be answered in board meeting structure, executive director contract, objectives, board policies, overview of service programs, and challenges will be outlined and discussed. Each orientation might be slightly different. And then within 90 days of the appointment of a new board member or new executive director, a study session of the whole board will be held for the purpose of reviewing or updating governance protocols of the board, which is what we're doing right now. Upon the request of 2 or more board members, we can also have a special study session for the purpose of reviewing and updating the board governance protocols. And with that, we've been through the board governance handbook. Any edits?
Any questions, edits, additions?
Okay, so next month, this will come back as a formal action item. If between now and then you have any thoughts or ideas that you want us to bring back, we can certainly incorporate those.
Okay.
Let me a drum roll for this next.
700.
She has a big grin on her face. Well, board, this is the first of many reminders. The Form 700s will be released in January. So as you prepare your financials.
It's November.
I know. That's why I'm giving you that.
You're already, the form's not even ready for us in here.
The forms have not even been released, but I'm planting the seeds in here. So that way, as you prepare your financials and prepare for tax season, know that in January, you'll get the Form 700 form. My constant emails and texting and calling will happen, and they're all due by the end of March. I also want to, on that note, speak to the governance handbook. At next meeting, you'll get new binders. You all got board binders earlier when you first came on. Some of the information in there has since been updated. If you can remember, think about it, bring me your old binder. But I'll have new binders and all the things at your seats already, but then I can collect the old binders and just. Okay, thank you.
No, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. If anybody has the agenda.
It's executive director comments.
Thank you. Executive Director comments, Dr. Wood.
So as you heard during public comment, tomorrow is Ruby Bridges Walk to School Day here on the Black Rock campus, organized by our BSU. So if you want to, at 7:50, we will all be meeting at the park behind the Thomas Park Elementary and then walking to school. Thursday is our big winter orchestra concert, which will be very exciting. Obviously next week is Thanksgiving break, and we will have our 3rd annual team for Run to Feed the Hungry, or I like it, Walk to Feed the Hungry, at Run to Feed the Hungry. So please join us if you want to. On the 11th, remember we were supposed to have a board meeting, but you so graciously moved it to the 12th. So on the 11th, you can join us at the Sacramento Kings game for Night of the Kings, where hopefully they will light the beam again. And then on the 12th, we will actually be meeting as a board. And then just a reminder that at this point, we do not have a January board meeting scheduled. So hopefully keep it that way. And application season launched November 1st, closes on January 12th. So if you have any children that you're applying for spots at Natomas Charter School, or you know have any friends or family who are, encourage them to apply soon. We've received about 600 applications this last time I looked. So thank you.
Okay, Board of Director comments. Yes. Okay. Future board agenda items. All right. With that, I will adjourn the meeting at 8:22. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
40 minutes.
We did a lot in 3 hours.